Coffee sits in your hand every morning. It wakes you up. It gets you moving, but if you're a man over 40, coffee does something else quietly. It shapes your prostate health, your sleep, your strength, even your confidence. I'm Dr. Jason Brooks, men's health specialist. For over 30 years, I've listened to men tell the same story. Doc, I wake up 3, 4, sometimes 5 times a night. The stream's slow. The urge never stops. Every car ride feels like a countdown to the next restroom. Greater than, oh God, I am about to pee my pants. Can you drive any faster? Greater than, it's not just inconvenient, it's exhausting, it's isolating. And it chips away at your energy and testosterone. That swollen gland, your prostate, presses against the tube that carries urine. That's what we call BPH, benign prostatic hyperplasia. Sounds medical, feels miserable. When this gland swells, it squeezes, straining your bladder. You lose sleep, you lose strength, and slowly you lose confidence. But here's what most men don't know. You can fight back, not with pills, not with surgery, with something far simpler. The same cup of coffee you drink every morning can become your quiet defense. Because one small scoop, one natural powder can support your prostate better than many pricey supplements ever will. And today, I'm revealing the top 8 powders that do exactly that. We'll count them down together from number 8 to number 1. Each one backed by science. Each one simple to use. And the final one is so powerful, clinical studies show it works as well as certain prescription medications without the harsh side effects. But before we dive in, I'd love to hear from you. How old are you? Where are you watching from? And what's your biggest concern about your prostate health right now? Leave your answers in the comments. I read every single one personally. Now, take a sip of that coffee because this first ingredient might surprise you. Let's begin with number 8, ginger. We're starting simple with something you already know, ginger. That spicy golden root sitting in your kitchen. You've used it for sore throats, maybe for nausea. But when it comes to your prostate, ginger can become your secret weapon. Inside ginger are 2 powerful compounds, gingerols and zingerone. They sound small, but these little molecules do big things. They calm the fires of inflammation burning inside your body, especially in the prostate. See, inflammation is the silent enemy of every man over 40. It's not loud. It doesn't hurt at first, but it keeps your tissues swollen. It makes that gland press harder on your bladder, and that's why you keep feeling the urge to go even when your bladder is already empty. Gingerols and zingerone work like firefighters. They block the enzymes that trigger swelling. They cool down irritation. They help your body relax from the inside out. I'll tell you about one of my patients, Richard, 55 years old, active but tired of waking up 2 or 3 times a night. He tried medications, but the side effects left him dizzy. One day a friend told him, "Try ginger in your coffee." He laughed, but he tried it anyway. Just half a teaspoon of ginger powder each morning. After 3 weeks he noticed something small but amazing. He was sleeping through the night. That pressure in his lower abdomen, almost gone. At his next checkup, his PSA, the test we use to track prostate strain, had stabilized. No new meds, no new pills, just coffee with ginger. If you want to try it, start small. Half a teaspoon. Blend it in. It dissolves easily and gives a warm, spicy flavor. If it's too strong, add a little cinnamon or honey. Skip the sugary creamer that only fuels inflammation. This tiny daily act replaces what harms your prostate with what helps it heal. No gimmicks, no complicated plan, just a clean, natural upgrade to what you already drink. Because sometimes, the biggest change doesn't come from something new. It comes from changing what you already do. And while ginger cools the fire inside your prostate, our next ingredient acts like a quiet engineer behind the scenes, balancing hormones, calming the roots of the problem. Let's move to number 7, cardamom. Now, let's talk about something smooth, something fragrant, something most men overlook. Cardamom. You've seen it in desserts, maybe in a fancy latte, but this spice isn't just for flavor. It's for balance. Hormone balance. The quiet key to prostate comfort. Here's the truth. As men age, testosterone doesn't just drop. It changes shape. Some of it turns into another hormone called DHT. And DHT is what tells your prostate to grow. Cardamom helps calm that process down. Inside this tiny seed are plant compounds that keep your hormones steady. They stop the conversion to DHT. They help your body hold on to healthy testosterone while easing the pressure on your prostate. But that's not all. Cardamom is also rich in antioxidants, those natural protectors that defend your cells from wear and tear. They cool down the low-grade inflammation that makes you feel bloated, restless, or constantly on edge. Let me tell you about Alan. He was 60, healthy but worried. One of his close friends had just been diagnosed with prostate cancer. Alan wanted to act before things got worse. He read that in parts of the Middle East, men add cardamom to their coffee every morning for wellness. So he started small, just a pinch, about a /4 teaspoon. Within a few weeks, something changed. He wasn't rushing to the bathroom after coffee anymore. His digestion felt calm. The constant bloating eased, and at his next checkup, his PSA was steady. No flare-ups, no bad news. He smiled and told me, "Doc, it feels like I'm finally doing something that takes care of me." That's the quiet strength of small, consistent habits. If you want to try it, start tiny. A pinch is enough. Mix it into your coffee grounds before brewing, or stir it right into your cup after. The flavor, naturally sweet, smooth, almost creamy. No sugar, no syrup, just nature helping you feel balanced again. So now we've cooled the fire with ginger, and we've balanced hormones with cardamom. But what about protecting your cells? The very foundation of prostate health. That's where the next one shines. It's ancient, it's green, and it's surprisingly powerful. Let's move to number 6, matcha. Now let's mix a little green into your cup. Matcha. Pure, finely ground tea leaves. Once called the drink of longevity, now a hidden ally for men's health. When you stir matcha into coffee, you get something people call a dirty matcha. It sounds strange, but it's powerful. Coffee gives you energy. Matcha gives you protection. Matcha is loaded with antioxidants called catechins. One in particular, EGCG, is a powerhouse. It protects your prostate cells from the daily wear and tear of inflammation and toxins. That's what keeps your gland from swelling over time. Research shows EGCG can even slow down unwanted cell growth. It keeps your prostate tissue calm and helps maintain healthy hormone balance naturally. And there's another hidden bonus. Matcha contains L-theanine. It works hand in hand with caffeine to give you steady energy and focus. No jittery highs, no mid-morning crash. Let me tell you about Dan. 54 years old, a coffee lover. His father had fought prostate cancer. So Dan wanted to be proactive, but he hated the taste of green tea. So I told him, don't drink green tea. Blend it into your coffee instead. He started with half a teaspoon of matcha each morning. After 2 weeks, he noticed smoother energy. No crash. By the end of the month, his PSA and cholesterol levels were both in a healthy range. He even lost a few stubborn pounds. That's the quiet power of consistency. 1 scoop a day protecting your prostate at the cellular level. To try this, pick a clean matcha. No sugar, no additives, just pure tea. Start with 1/4 to half a teaspoon. Whisk or blend it in. Your coffee will turn a rich green-brown color, smooth, earthy, and alive. This simple habit connects two worlds, ancient wisdom and modern science. In the same cup you already drink, we've cooled the fire with ginger. We've balanced hormones with cardamom. And now we've built a shield with matcha. But there's another quiet defender waiting. A tiny seed that filters hormones, steadies blood sugar, and helps your prostate stay small and calm. Let's move to number 5, flaxseed. Let's talk about something small, something you might walk past in the grocery aisle. Tiny brown seeds. Flax seeds. They don't look like much, but for a man over 40, these little grains can help keep your prostate steady, your hormones balanced, and your energy more even throughout the day. Flax seeds are rich in two key nutrients, lignans and omega-3s. Think of lignans as natural filters. They bind to excess hormones in your body, especially DHT, the hormone that makes your prostate swell by flushing out what your body doesn't need. Flax seeds help calm that internal pressure. Then there are the omega-3s. They cool inflammation and improve circulation. They help your cells communicate better, and they reduce the irritation that keeps your bladder on edge. Add a dose of soluble fiber, and suddenly this humble seed supports blood sugar, cholesterol, and even weight control. Everything your prostate loves. Let me tell you about Greg, 61, healthy weight. But his PSA had been creeping up little by little, year after year. His doctor said, "Let's just watch and wait." But Greg didn't want to wait. He wanted to act. So he started simple. Each morning, 1 tablespoon of freshly ground flaxseed in his coffee. Blended smooth, nutty flavor, easy to drink. 3 months later, 2 changes stood out. First, he wasn't craving sugary snacks anymore. Second, his PSA had stopped climbing. It leveled off. No pills, no side effects, just coffee and consistency. Here's the secret. You must use ground flaxseed. Whole seeds just pass through. You can buy it pre-grown or grind it fresh in a coffee grinder. Add a tablespoon to your cup. If it thickens slightly, that's the fiber at work. It's a good sign. It's mild, nutty, and satisfying. No sugar, no chemicals, just real food that brings your body back into balance. I tell my patients all the time, sometimes the most powerful medicine doesn't come from a pharmacy. It comes from what you stir into your morning cup. And speaking of powerful, our next ingredient is an ancient one. Used for centuries, praised in the Middle East as the seed of blessing. Science now calls it something else, a natural DHT blocker and antioxidant powerhouse. Let's move to number 4, black seed. Now we arrive at something legendary, black seed, also known as Nigella sativa. In ancient texts it was called the seed of blessing, and for good reason. This tiny black grain has been used for centuries across the Middle East and Asia. But modern science is finally catching up to explain why it works so well for men's health. Inside black seed lies a special compound called thioquinone. It's a powerful antioxidant and anti-inflammatory, and it does 2 incredible things for your prostate. First, it helps block DHT, the hormone that tells your prostate to grow larger. It gently slows down that conversion process without harming your natural testosterone balance. Second, it protects your prostate cells from irritation and stress. Those tiny antioxidants move through your system like a cleanup crew, reducing the pressure, swelling, and discomfort that come with an overworked gland. Let me tell you about Sam. He's 57. An engineer, logical, analytical, and not a believer in folk remedies. But he was tired of the cycle, the pressure, the night trips, the constant urge. His grandson mentioned black seed powder. Sam decided to test it. He added just 1/8 of a teaspoon to his morning coffee each day. At first, he balanced the slightly bitter taste with a pinch of cinnamon. Then something changed. After a few weeks, he realized he wasn't running to the restroom as often. He was sleeping through the night, and that heavy pressure in his lower belly gone. At his next visit, we checked his numbers. His PSA was stable, his flow was stronger, and he smiled and said, "Looks like science finally caught up with tradition." That's the truth about black seed. It's not magic. It's not hype. It's an ancient protector that modern research confirms. If you want to try it, start tiny. Just a pinch or 1/8 teaspoon. Mix it into your coffee. Add a touch of honey or cinnamon to smooth the taste. It blends beautifully with strong coffee. Give it a few weeks. You may start to notice less pressure, fewer night awakenings, and a calmer, steadier flow. Because when you help your prostate relax, your entire body feels the difference. And now we move to something every man recognizes, a food that's been in your kitchen all along, crunchy, nutty, and quietly one of the best natural remedies for prostate comfort. Let's talk about number 3, pumpkin seed. Let's talk about a seed you already know. Pumpkin seeds. Simple, crunchy, easy to find, but hidden inside each seed is a medicine chest for your prostate. Pumpkin seeds are rich in beta oil. It's a plant compound that naturally blocks DHT, the hormone that tells your prostate to grow. When that message is blocked, your gland relaxes. Your bladder stops fighting for space. These seeds also carry zinc, a mineral your prostate needs more than almost any other organ. Zinc helps your tissues heal, balances hormones, and keeps inflammation from spiraling out of control. Then comes magnesium and omega-3 fats. They support circulation, reduce pressure, and even improve the strength of your bladder muscles. Let me tell you about George. He was 64, strong, still working full-time, but the constant nighttime trips were breaking him down. 3-4 times a night. He'd start every morning tired and frustrated. A friend told him that in Europe, men use pumpkin seeds to keep their prostate healthy. So George gave it a try. He ground raw pumpkin seeds into a fine powder, 1 heaping tablespoon in his morning coffee. He added a splash of almond milk, blended it smooth, and drank it daily. Within weeks, his nights changed. He was waking up once, sometimes not at all. His flow was stronger, and during his next checkup, his doctor noted a smaller prostate and improved urinary control. Clinical studies agree long-term use of pumpkin seed helps reduce prostate swelling and improves urine flow as effectively as some prescription drugs, but without dizziness, fatigue, or side effects. If you want to try it, use raw, unsalted pumpkin seeds. Grind them fresh. Add a tablespoon to your hot coffee. It gives a toasty, nutty flavor that makes your drink richer, not bitter. Or try cold-pressed pumpkin seed oil. 1 or 2 teaspoons stirred into your cup. If you drink bulletproof coffee with butter or MCT oil, swap part of that fat for pumpkin seed oil. It's cleaner, smarter, and better for your hormones. Pumpkin seeds are nature's quiet healer. They don't promise miracles. They deliver balance, comfort, and a calmer night's sleep. And now, from the humble seed, we move to something more mysterious, something ancient. A fungus once called the mushroom of immortality. Let's move to part 7b. Rei mushroom, the immortal protector. Now let's step into ancient wisdom, the world of mushrooms, specifically rei. In traditional Chinese medicine, it's called lingji, the mushroom of immortality. For over 2,000 years, reishi has been used to keep the body strong, the mind calm, and the organs young. Today, modern research finally explains why. Inside this deep red mushroom are powerful natural compounds called triterpene and beta-glucans. They work together like a restoration crew for your prostate and your immune system. Triterpenes act as gentle DHT regulators. They keep testosterone in check, helping your prostate stay relaxed and healthy. Beta-glucans, on the other hand, calm inflammation and teach your immune system how to respond wisely, not overreact. The result: less irritation in your bladder, less swelling around your prostate, more steady, natural flow. Let me tell you about Victor. He's 70, retired teacher, still sharp, still active, but frustrated by the side effects of medication. The pills helped, but left him dizzy, laden, and drained. He wanted another path. So I told him about Rei coffee. He started small. 1 teaspoon of high-quality reishi powder stirred into his morning cup. At first he was skeptical. The taste was earthy, almost bitter. But after a few days he got used to it. By the second week he noticed his energy lasting longer through the day. No more afternoon crashes. By the third month he was waking up only once at night. His flow was smoother and his PSA number had dipped slightly. When his doctor saw the results, he said, "Whatever you're doing, keep doing it." And Victor smiled. To try it yourself, look for Ganoderma lucidum. That's the scientific name for ratty. Choose an organic pure extract. 1/2 to 1 teaspoon a day is enough. Mix it into hot coffee. Heat helps it dissolve smoothly. The flavor rich, earthy. It softens coffee's bitterness naturally. Add a little milk or cinnamon if you prefer. Rai doesn't just support your prostate. It strengthens your immune system, reduces stress hormones, and improves overall vitality. It's not hype. It's balance. It's longevity. The kind that builds slowly, quietly, and stays. Now we've explored the healing seed and the ancient mushroom, 2 of nature's quiet protectors. But our journey isn't done, because the final step combines 2 of the most researched natural extracts ever studied for prostate health. They work hand in hand like a team built for precision. Let's move to part 8a. Saw palmetto, the blocker. Now we reach the first half of the golden duo. A small berry with a big reputation. Saw palmetto. If you've ever walked through the warm coasts of Florida, you've seen it. Low palms with thick spiky leaves and clusters of dark berries hiding beneath. Those little berries hold one of nature's most respected secrets for men's health. Saw palmetto has been used for centuries to support urinary strength and balance male hormones. But today we know exactly how it works. Inside the berry are natural fatty acids that block an enzyme called 5-alpha reductase. That enzyme's job is to convert testosterone into DHT, the very hormone that fuels prostate growth. When you block that enzyme, you stop feeding the fire. Your prostate stops swelling. Your bladder stops straining. And your sleep finally begins to recover. Unlike strong prescription blockers, saw palmetto does this gently. No harsh dizziness. No drop in energy or libido. Just a natural reset, steady, calm, consistent. One of my patients, Daniel, was in his late 50s. His PSA had been creeping up, and his doctor recommended medication. He hesitated. He didn't want to trade one problem for another, so he tried saw palmetto instead. He took 400 milligrams each morning right after breakfast with his coffee. In just 2 months, he noticed real change. Less pressure, stronger stream, and fewer restless nights. By month 3, his PSA was lower, and his energy had returned. That's what happens when you address the root cause, not just the symptoms. If you want to try yourself, look for a standardized saw palmetto extract, one that's rich in fatty acids. You can find it in capsules or powder. Take about 300 to 500 milligrams daily. If using powder, stir 1 teaspoon into your coffee. It blends easily, adds a mild, earthy taste, and pairs well with cinnamon or nut milk. Saw palmetto is like a quiet bodyguard. It doesn't shout. It doesn't force. It simply blocks what harms you and restores balance over time. But here's where the real transformation happens. Because when you pair saw palmetto with another botanical stinging nettle root, their power multiplies. They don't compete, they complete each other. One blocks the signal, the other stops the reaction. Let's move to part 8b. Stinging nettle root and final message. Now let's meet the final partner. Stinging nettle root. It may sting your skin, but inside it heals. When paired with saw palmetto, it becomes a quiet powerhouse. Here's why. Saw palmetto blocks the making of DHT. Nettle root stops what's left from binding to your prostate. 2 lines of defense. 1 powerful result. Together they calm the swelling, ease pressure, and let your bladder empty fully. You stop rushing to the restroom. You start resting again. Let me tell you about Frank. 68. Tired. 5 bathroom trips a night. Always looking for relief. He tried the saw palmetto and nettle combo. A teaspoon of powder each morning in his coffee with almond milk. He stayed consistent. 3 weeks later, fewer trips. 3 months later, sleeping through the night, less pressure, stronger flow. His doctor saw improvement. A smaller prostate, a calmer system. Clinical research agrees. This combo matches some prescription results without the dizziness, without the loss of drive. Take it slow. 8 to 12 weeks. Let your body adjust. 1 scoop a day is enough. Now, let's recap the full journey. Ginger cools the fire. Cardamom balances hormones. Matcha protects cells. Flax seed filters DHT. Black seed blocks inflammation. Pumpkin seed nourishes. Ray strengthens defenses. And the golden duo restores peace. You don't need all 8. Pick 1 or 2. Stay steady. Because real change comes from small habits that stick. Your coffee can be more than caffeine. It can be your defense, your routine, your quiet act of strength. At this age, your prostate shouldn't control your nights or your confidence. You can take control back. 1 scoop at a time. Tell me in the comments. Which one will you start with? Ginger, flaxseed, or the golden duo? If this helped you, tap like, subscribe, and share it with a friend. Your strength, your comfort, your dignity, they're worth that 1 small change every morning.